Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Only Stupid Answers. This is the show where we answer your questions about movies, TV shows, comic books, the toppest of guns, avatars, both The Last Airbenders and The Way of Waters. And with me, as always, is Roxy. Hello, Roxy.
That's true. I am here. Who's to say that I'm really here? Could be Ghost Roxy. Could be Roxy Earth 52.
Could be Roxy from from the future. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. No. I know, but you don't.
We don't know. We'll have to see if she drops hints throughout the episode. Listen closely to see if there's any hints to which Roxy is on this episode.
Speaking of hints, and nothing to do with what we're talking about, but multiverses.
Yeah.
Did you realize that Multiverse of Madness is mom?
The shortening of that, yes, but I didn't think about it as like mom,
and that it came out on Mother's Day.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Is that all real or no?
Is that all intentional? I thought about the Mother's Day thing. Listen, Roxy.
We're not on Mother's Day, which was Sunday, but Mother's Day weekend.
I would like to think yes. However, I feel like, and I'm actually curious on your thoughts on this. I feel like the decision that Wanda was the villain came significantly later than would be traditionally true of a movie.
But later than the title of the movie?
That is the impression I get. I feel like Wanda was not made the villain until after WandaVision came out. What are your thoughts on this?
When did they give us the title?
Like I want to say year before. It was when they did that big phase 4 drop.
Wow.
I just know that it's like they make these movies and then they reshoot these movies and then they remake these. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah, maybe just a weird coincidence, but I do think it's incredibly funny that it's MOM.
Mm-hmm. Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That's
a lot.
That's pretty good. You know, if nothing else, it's a happy coincidence. They've been doing behind the scenes stuff has gotten so sad now. Maybe it always was, and now I'm just an adult. But like they've been doing some like behind the scenes stuff, talking with the showrunner of Moon Knight, and it all just makes me so sad.
Yeah. Behind the scenes stuff does get me kind of depressed sometimes too.
Yeah, because he's like, oh yeah, I came in and they're like, here's the ones we're doing, and he's like, well, this one kind of interests me the most, and so we did that, and then they handed me a list of villains, and I was like, that one's name's cool, so let's do that one. It's like, fucking, why were you the one to do Moon Knight? Anyway, none of that matters. What we're talking about today is we're talking about Top Gun. Which will be it'll be a very interesting journey we go on. I don't know if I've had more of a whiplash from the original one to a sequel ever of opinions on the films, because I just watched Top Gun 1 literally this weekend in anticipation of
for the first time.
My impression is you've seen it, you saw it way before that.
Yes, yeah. And I rewatched it this week as well.
And I will say, being a grown adult man in the 21st century is not the ideal circumstances for which to watch the original Top Gun. I am not the target audience. A young person in the 80s is the ideal person to watch Top Gun, not an adult man in the 21st century.
You can see why it was as loved as it was by the people who loved it.
Yes, and I think that is part of the problem. It's very much like the 80s. Like it's like a snapshot of the 80s and the good and the bad of that. But you know what? We're getting ahead of ourselves. I do want to dive more into my thoughts on the first Top Gun because it was a wild experience watching it. But before we do any of that, listen, if you want to watch this episode live, if you want to listen to it early, if you want to check out Patreon exclusive shows like what we're into in Spider-Versity, you can do that over patreon.com/onlystupidanswers. Of course, give us 5-star reviews on iTunes, please, and thank you. It really helps the show. And if you listen to this on Spotify, we ask a question every week. Last week's question was, who would you have made a part of the Illuminati? Ray Alvarez said Tim Blake Nelson's leader. They've dropped him on their priority list since Norton's Hulk movie. I'd love to see him back, though a supervillain, traditionally, another universe leader could be an ally, and I think that's a great choice. Austin, from the current MCU, I would have loved to have seen a Nick Fury variant. I feel like Sam Jackson would have had a fun time with that. And it actually, once you said that, I was like, oh yeah, why didn't they do a Nick Fury? That seems like a slam dunk. And Uriel EB says Sam Rockwell playing that universe's Iron Man, and that'd be fucking funny as shit. But he's still what was the name of his character in Iron Man 2? It wasn't Stain. It was
I have no idea.
Why am I blanking so hard? Anyway, he's not Tony Stark. He's whoever that character is, but he is Iron Man in this universe. That would be fucking hilarious. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, Roxy, very exciting.
Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer, thank you, Roxy, coming in.
Even after seeing it, I don't remember that.
But it'd be cool to have Justin Hammer be the Iron Man of the universe. That'd be fucking funny, and probably easier. The rumors were that Tom Cruise was going to be Iron Man in that. I'm going to imagine Sam Rockwell's fantastic and a very in-demand actor. I would imagine he'd be slightly easier to get than Tom Cruise. Speaking of Patreon. So Spider-Versity, we just wrapped up No Way Home. We had Comic Store Ant and Hector Navarro on to help us wrap up our Spider-Man movie conversations. So starting this week, we're going to be doing the Spider-Man the Animated Series. Very excited to dive into that. I don't think I've seen that show since I was a kid. Roxy, did you watch Spider-Man Animated Series as a kid?
I didn't.
Oh, you don't like animation?
Yeah, but I did as a kid.
Okay, well.
I watched Batman the Animated Series.
Dude, I've gone back and started rewatching it. It is beautiful.
What, Batman the Animated Series?
Batman the Animated Series is beautiful. I know. I know they changed the animation style near the end to like match up with like Superman and what they ended up doing with Justice League, and I get the practical reasons for that. But the original animation style is so gorgeous. Anyway. Also, if you are part of the 25 plus tier, the producer tier, very special tier, not only do you get to decide what we do on the show, what I watch for what we're into and stuff like that, but you are also getting sneak peeks of my new comic, HELLBENT 2. That's right. HELLBENT is coming back. HELLBENTcomicbook.com. You can go to HELLBENTcomicbook.com, sign up for the pre-launch page to HELLBENT 2, the sequel to the Kickstarter hit HELLBENT 1. This continues the story of Jesse and Nick and Jaina and Heather and I are all back with an incredible team of co-collaborators. And I think I really love what we did with HELLBENT 1, but I think everything we're doing in HELLBENT 2 is even more exciting. The interiors are basically done. So please go over to hellbentcomicbook.com, sign up for the pre-launch page. We've got very exciting things planned for that Kickstarter, which will be coming soon. If you want to know exactly when, sign up for that pre-launch page. hellbentcomicbook.com. That's it. That's all the business time.
We got that business out of the way now. We get to talk about what we want to talk about.
we get to talk about what we want to talk about, which is news. Oh yeah, Roxy. I will let you decide. Do we want to start? What do we want to start with on news? Do we want to do the trailer or do we want to do the court stuff first? What do we want to get out of the way?
Let's do trailer. I got to build the confidence.
Gotcha. We got to build up steam. Let's talk about the trailer, the new trailer for Avatar. Roxy, you and I have been on shows together for years now.
Yes.
And I don't know that I know your opinion on Avatar.
I was just thinking that, DJ, actually, like, usually I feel people at this point have a strong Avatar take. Like, it does seem like in our line of work that people are either feel like Avatar is the most overrated fucking property. Why is this being made? Or like, I know this is bad, but I love Avatar. Like, those are the two responses. And I don't know that I have the hottest take on it.
Yeah.
I like Avatar.
Yeah.
I'm not really in either one of these camps. I feel like I'm a little stoner child at heart. So I'll fuck with visuals all day long.
Yeah.
Which is like definitely great, but I'm also a storyteller. And Avatar doesn't have like the most invigorating, incredible, wild story. So I'm kind of like part of my soul's being fulfilled and the other part's like meh. So that's what I feel about Avatar in general. But what about you, DJ?
So for me, I wonder if I'm more like the average person in that I don't have any feelings really on Avatar. Like, I don't think about Avatar. I don't, which I think is why it's wild to me when you say Avatar is still the highest grossing blockbuster ever in the history of cinema. Of course we're getting a sequel. On those terms, that makes sense. on the fact that like I don't know that anybody has talked about Avatar since Avatar was in theaters. Is like, is this gonna? And we've already. It'd be one thing if we were making a sequel. You'd be like, yes, that makes sense. We've already shot 4 of them. It's like, what? Slow down. Is anybody that excited for 4 more Avatars?
I think that I am in a very unique position in which 90% of my days are spent with Steph Sabra, who is like a die-hard Avatar stan.
Oh my
And
goodness.
the other person
They
who I work
exist.
with-
The one exists.
But then also Christian Harloff loves Avatar.
Okay.
So the two of them, I feel clouded that there's like a whole group of people who like are fucking obsessed with Avatar.
Well, and listen, again, it made all of the money. The first one made all of the money, and people have very correctly, I think, pointed out, like, never bet against James Cameron. And it's like, yeah. I will say the opinions I do have on Avatar is I remember I saw it. It came out literally right before I moved out here. So I saw it.
What year was that, DJ?
Over 10 years now.
Okay.
So 2012, 2011. And I was going in and people were like, this is the future. 3D movies are the future. This is how every movie's going to be made from now on. And so I went in and with the caveat, the reason I say it was before I moved out here, I'm telling you, I saw it in like a shitty Florida theater. And I saw it and I was like, and it made me existentially sad. It was like, if this is the future of movies, why am I moving out to LA?
You know what, DJ? I know for a fact it must have come out in either 2009 or 2010 because I have a very, you know how I never remember any movies at the theater?
Yeah.
I know exactly where I was when I saw this and the circumstances around this.
Can you elaborate?
This is one of my most wild stories ever, but I had just taken... I was in college, so it must have been 2009 or 2010. And I know it was not after that because my mom was alive, which I know because I had just taken a bunch of edibles and gone into the theater. And then my parents had been out here visiting me. I dropped them at the airport. Then I went to go see Avatar and I got out with like 52 missed calls from them. And they had been yanked off of an airplane for trying to bring pot back to Massachusetts. And they were like, we need you to come pick us up. They won't let us. And I was like, I can't come pick you up. I just saw Avatar. And that is like a thing that my family always is like, you were too fucked up from Avatar.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, not exactly, but yeah.
I think it must have been my first year or second year of college. It was for sure one of those two. But I'll never forget. That's what I was doing with Avatar. That is my memory tied to Avatar.
I love that story. That is a fantastic story, and I appreciate you sharing it with the class today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So with all that in mind, what were your feelings watching this trailer?
It looked, again, I actually felt the exact same way that I felt previously. It looks fucking dope. It looks really cool. The visuals are sick. It doesn't look like a live action movie. It looks like an animated movie. And I'm watching it and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, which is not, I'm not against.
No.
Yeah.
I'm neither complimenting nor ripping it down. I'm just stating like what it looked like to me. I don't know. Here are the things that stick with me. There's some line about like family is something, and like they maybe stick together.
Family is our fortress. It's a very Fast and Furious line.
Family's fortress. But there's such a long pause between the two things that I out loud said, "What just happened? What was the first part?" Like, and then I like don't recognize any of the characters, so I'm definitely either gonna have to do some kind of rewatch. Are they the same characters?
Yes. Can I tell you the one that threw me off? And I wonder if it was just a me thing. So there's a boy hanging out with the blue people, and I couldn't tell, is this just a boy or is it like a mix? Because his body looked lanky like one of the blue people, but he was a person. And it was confusing for my eyes. But maybe it was just a me thing. Yeah, like I couldn't tell if we were trying to say like this is a hybrid human blue person or if it's just a person with the blue people, and it's confusing my eyes for some reason.
I don't know. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Zoe Saldana, so I think we're in the same place. I think it is the same, but I really, truly, DJ was like, I don't know. Tell me what the story is. I think the story is attack from a different side.
Yeah.
Probably because we're the blue people.
Yeah.
And we need to bunker down and protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the whole story. I don't know.
The story is we've made huge advances in underwater CG technology, and James Cameron wants to show them off.
And I would watch that.
Yeah.
That is enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, I really do love watching shit that I've never seen before. It's the same reason that I like to sit on my couch and watch like Animal Planet, where it's like, whoa, it's the same reason why I spent 7 hours going down a deep rabbit hole on what a sperm whale is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I do these things, but I certainly do. And James Cameron's kind of like in that camp where he's like, look what I can do.
God bless Sam Worthington, whose name I just had to look up, who has been in Avatar.
Is he the star of Avatar?
And I don't know what else. I know he's been in another movie.
He sounds like he's Sam Worthington. That name sounds familiar. Let me look. I'm gonna look him up.
Let's all look up Sam Worthington.
I've seen this man before. Wow. For somebody who was in such a massive movie, it's a bummer that he is certainly not a household name.
Nope. He is in that new show Under the Banner of Heaven, that new Andrew Garfield miniseries that I will watch because I've heard good things.
That too. Yeah, I want to watch that too.
I'm very much enjoying this Andrew Garfield renaissance we're in right now.
Yeah, and he was in Hacksaw Ridge, so probably they work well together.
Sam Worthington? Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
And Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
But Mel Gibson is not attached to Under the Banner of Heaven, so we can watch Guilt Free, baby.
Yeah. Let's get him out of that fucking John Wick spinoff, please and thank you. Please and thank you. I don't want to have conflicted feelings about the John Wick franchise. Give me something, please. Yeah, so like you said, it looks beautiful. It does look beautiful. There is part of it that, like, I watched it and it made me feel uncomfortable. It's like
the trailer made you feel uncomfortable.
The trailer made me feel uncomfortable, and I really couldn't figure out whether it was just the uncanny valley with the blue people. I couldn't figure out if it was that one person that I couldn't tell if it was supposed to just be a person or like a hybrid person, or if it's not, because it's blue alien, so it's not necessarily cultural appropriation, but it is uncomfortably close to that. Like, it makes me like, I don't know. We'll see. Listen, here's the thing.
Of what culture are they appropriating?
Native American, indigenous culture, tribal culture. There is something there. I'm playing a game that I really, really love called Horizon. It's the sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. And part of the story of that is basically, it's a post-apocalyptic future, but like so post-apocalyptic that basically humanity started over and we're back to our tribal ways, essentially.
DJ, is it a first-person shooter game?
It is not. It is an open-world, third-person.
I only know one term, DJ.
I'm sorry, but I appreciate it. But sometimes
I give you more credit than that. Wow. I was expecting some like ooh.
Listen, yeah.
What'd you say? It's called a third-person open world.
Yeah, it's an open-world, third-person adventure game. I think is how I describe it. Third person is, so first person you're like looking out Master Chief's eyes. Third person you're watching the character you're playing.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what I said, DJ.
Yeah. What? Did you mishear? That's what I said. I'm sorry, Roxy. I'm sorry.
It must have cut out.
Listen, Zoom. We've had Zoom issues before, so.
Yeah. Sure.
But so it's restarted, and so a lot of the characters and the tribes are based on tribal traditions, which sometimes it's kind of colorblind casting. There's people from all different backgrounds, and I think the one thing that keeps me from feeling uncomfortable about it is all cultures have tribal traditions. The Irish have tribal traditions. Like literally every culture, go back far enough, we have tribal traditions that in some way and overlap in a lot of ways, which is just another point that racism is stupid. But anyway, we'll get to that when we talk about Atlanta for what we're into this week. And I know that there was comparisons to the Pocahontas story and Avatar 1. And so some of that makes me feel like a little weird. We'll see. I'm going to see it. This movie's going to make money because everybody's going to at least see it out of curiosity. I think the question will be, will Avatar 3 make money? You know what I mean? Like, will this one, I think, is going to at least maybe not do Avatar 1 money, but it'll do well.
Yeah, because like how much could the technology advance between 2 and 3? So you're not going for the technology advancement for 3. You're
Yep.
going for the story, and it's like.
And this was the question Leonard Kim had. Do you have any idea what the story could be for Avatar: The Way of Water? The visuals are gorgeous, but I don't know what the movie will be about. Rolling on the floor laughing. And I think, honestly, Roxy, I think you kind of nailed it. It's like, this group is mad at us now.
Yeah.
And we have to defend family. And that's
So what was the story of the first one? That was that it also?
Can I tell you I cannot answer that question. All I can tell you, Roxy, is the one scene I remember from Avatar. The one scene that is burned in my brain from Avatar because I thought it was so fucking badass is, wow, I can't remember the actor's name. The guy that played the bad guy. He was also in those Don't Breathe movies. We established that the Avatar, Pandora, their environment is toxic and humans can't breathe it. And the heroes make a daring escape. And so the vents, basically the back door of the ship is open, and that guy just holds his breath and walks out and opens fire on them while he's holding his breath. I'm like, that motherfucker's he's evil, but he's so fucking cool. And that is the one memory I have of Avatar. Blue people, that scene, that's basically it. And the weird antenna tendrils that we not only use to fuck, but also to control animals, which is weird if you think about it.
I don't remember anything that you're talking about, which
See?
bodes very well. It is wild as I'm looking at the cast. So they got back Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Giovanni Ribisi, Sigourney Weaver. Man, that's lucky.
An actor I was thinking of is Stephen Lang, who I think is a very excellent actor, and I think he's very good in that movie. And he was putting off Terminator vibes, which of course we know James Cameron is good at doing. But so I don't even remember. Point is, I don't even remember the plot of the first one.
Let's see. The plot of the first one is a paraplegic Marine dispatched to the moon Pandora on a unique mission becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his home. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
I didn't remember it was a moon.
Who's the paraplegic Marine?
Sam Worthington.
He's a Marine?
Yes.
Is this on our planet?
No. They are from our planet. It's from Earth too. Because remember, Roxy, this is the other thing I remember. They're going to Pandora to get unobtainium.
So on our planet, there are blue people?
People from our planet go to Pandora, which is the moon, and that's where the blue people
they turn blue? Oh.
Yeah, we cloned blue bodies so that we could inhabit.
Sam Worthington's not blue. Sam Worthington looks like.
Yeah, he's a human, and then remember they like implanted.
That's a bummer for him that I don't remember him in it, and he looked like him.
Yes. And then and this is weird too. We cloned blue bodies of the aliens that exist, and so it's basically like the blue face to the nth degree. We clone the bodies that we can inhabit. It's basically the plot of fucking Get Out, but not a horror movie.
Does he turn blue by the end or no?
Yeah, I think his human body dies, and so he's stuck as a blue person.
I remember something about touching tails.
Shit, are we gonna have to rewatch Avatar? Fuck,
I was just thinking that, DJ. There's no way they're expecting us to do that, right? I mean, I guess I did it for Top Gun, but Avatar, that's a kind of a big ass.
Yeah.
Imagine people who see Avatar for the first time on their cell phones.
What a waste. Yeah, those people are not going to enjoy that movie. They are not going to enjoy that movie. All right, let's do a quick ad break, and then we'll be back with maybe a little bit more news and then Top Gun. All right, we are back from our break. If you watch live, you got a little bit of a fun more conversation about Avatar and how much we don't remember it. Roxy, you said there's not much of an update here, but I do have it on my list, so I thought I was going to touch on it real quick. I did have Ezra Miller here too, but you informed me that the Ezra Miller's drop this week is not a new thing. It's more information off of an old thing, so we don't need to dwell on that.
I have more of a clear update on Ezra Miller for you than I do on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Okay, let's do.
We'll start with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, so. All I see is a bunch of people posting memes that I don't look at of Amber Heard crying. And again, I can't stress this enough. I do not know. I don't know these people. I'm not part of their lives. But the way the pro Johnny Depp crowd is going about this is so utterly gross to me.
It is really
that I can't It's upsetting. And so this is not me necessarily trying to defend Amber Heard. Also, by the way, I was reminded this week, Johnny Depp assaulted somebody on set and has been sued by multiple people for multiple things. And so it's weird to me that we're just like, no, he's 100% the good guy. And it's like, but he has a history, whatever. Anyway, point is, I'm not trying to defend anybody, but it makes me feel gross.
So I completely agree with you. I think that one of the biggest problems here is the way that the internet is handling the situation. Amber Heard took a stand, and Amber Heard was speaking about Johnny Depp's alleged behavior towards her, in which she does talk about some of the things that were listed in her op-ed, but also very specifically talks about being assaulted by him, where he sexually assaulted her with a bottle.
Great.
And the internet went fucking nuts about how like that must be a lie, because she would be like so damaged. She would have had to have gone to the hospital, and everybody like suddenly became an expert on being raped with a bottle. It was like fucking wild to watch. And so that's where the tearing footage is coming from.
Yeah.
The only tangible updates that I can give you are that Amber Heard has now taken the stand, and the most recent development that people seem to be very fixated on is while Amber Heard was on the stand, her team and Amber mentioned Kate Moss.
Yes, I saw this.
A big part of the trial now, because since Kate Moss was mentioned, I guess one of the things about court is that you are not allowed to pull in past incidents. Or I don't know exactly how that works, but for many in Amber Heard's past, she has domestic spouts, domestic abuse in her past, and Johnny Depp's team has not been able to include that. But because of the inclusion of Kate Moss, all of a sudden, it does possibly open up the door to start talking about past crimes, and past disturbances and past abuse. So that seems to be like a big place that people think that the case is headed. What is very strange about this, what continues to be strange about this, is that there's just like, it feels like there's no end in sight. I mean, things could continue to get brought up for a long time. I have no idea if Amber Heard is telling the truth or not, to be honest. At this point, I really don't know. Because I was not there, and I do not know. Yeah. I do think it is fucking vile that we are watching this person, like any human, just break fucking down on stage, which absolutely could presumably be a performance. She is an actress. Could everything he's doing be a performance? He is an actor, for sure. But the way that the people are watching this as if it is a television show and being like, you fucking liar, he never did that, I was there, like, which they weren't. It is not a good look on humanity or society. What's also not a good look, though, is if there is mutual abuse going on, that Johnny Depp lost his job and Amber Heard does not. So, there's a lot of different things to look at here. But really, just in terms of updates, just the biggest one being that she's on the stand and she mentioned Kate Moss, and that could possibly end up being something substantial in this trial.
It is weird that it's like Johnny Depp may have pushed Kate Moss down the stairs, and all the Johnny Depp stands are like, yes, this is good for us. It's like, did you not ingest the information you were just given?
Have you seen that GIF? His lawyer fucking fist pumps.
God damn it.
When she says it.
This is so gross.
He turns around.
This is so gross. This is so, because it is a game. It's a game. Anyway, meanwhile, as far as I know, Ezra Miller has not continued to terrorize Hawaii. However, we did learn.
So this is, I got you. Don't worry. Okay. Here's what happened with Ezra Miller. This is body cam footage was released of when Ezra Miller was arrested in Hawaii based on the darts incident. So the first incident, and the body cam footage was really fucking disturbing. Ezra Miller is getting taken out of the bar and saying that they were recording their arrest because that Ezra Miller was recording their arrest because they wanted to release an NFT crypto art of it, which talk about the state of the world and what the fuck sentences.
And also bad timing. The crypto market's crashing right now. So
Yeah. Then Ezra claims that they did not spit on anybody because the bar patron, he had claimed that he had been spit on by Ezra, that Ezra just came over to him and spit right in his face.
Yeah.
Ezra says that that didn't happen. Ezra says that they have on camera that this guy is a Nazi.
Okay.
Yet to figure out why or what.
I mean, we do know he has a hard on for that sort of thing.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And then Ezra Miller was getting searched, and there's body cam footage of Ezra saying, "You're touching my penis. You're touching my penis. Stop touching my penis." And the cop is saying, "I'm not touching your penis."
Yeah.
And then they say, "I'm transgender, non-binary. I don't agree to a man searching me," and just like keeps repeating that. And then the search is finished, and they found some kind of like a it was either like an airsoft gun or a rubber bullet, some whatever, but nothing bad. And that was the footage. But it was like Ezra was like laughing, like yelling. It was very manic seeming. And I don't mean that as an official diagnosis.
Yes.
That's just, it was like up,
That's how.
down.
Yeah.
And it was wild. And the other news this week surrounding Ezra Miller being that there's talks about replacing Ezra Miller in The Flash with Dylan O'Brien.
I was going to ask you about this, but it was one of those, it's one of those situations where the outlet that was reporting is like, well, I've never heard of you before, so I don't know. I don't know how.
I don't know either.
Is there any chance that could be a thing?
I do think that there is a chance. Number one, Dylan O'Brien seemingly is very non-problematic, has been working for a really long time. Not that this is always the be-all, end-all, but one of my closest friends is friends with him and says that he's just like fucking lovely. Cool. So maybe that's true. And maybe Warner Brothers is like, we know that he's not like, he's kind of a safe bet.
Yeah.
Maybe. And people know his face. He's been in movies, been in TV shows. People know him a little bit, but not enough that it's like big stunt casting. And I feel like would be a really solid pick for Barry Allen. And if they already have shot this movie and they're trying to plug and play, I feel like they're of similar stature. Maybe
that's a good point. We don't have to rebuild the visuals.
Right. That could be like an easier transition. I mean, like, I'm not saying that as a studio exec, he would be my choice, because I do feel like I call it on my show, and this isn't fair, but it's a little bit like lazy. Like, we're going to do it, but we're not going to like really mix things up. You know, like we're not going to rewrite anything. We're not going with Wally West. We're not going to like, we are sticking with what we're doing. We're just plug and playing, guys. Let's do it. And that's fine. It's sometimes fine to make that decision, but it is a decision that's not going to just affect this movie. It's going to affect the entire fucking franchise. So luckily I like Dylan O'Brien. I have no idea if this is true. If it is true, I'm okay with that.
I feel like we should start, like, I know like the hoop, you know, my wife works as a nurse, and like the hoops for a job, like drug testing, all that stuff. It's like, we just need to start doing that for celebrities. Like you've got mandatory drug tests. We've got a studio therapist that you need to see once a week. Sorry, listen, we are paying you too much money for you to fuck around. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Would you like to see Dylan O'Brien? Like, whether you think it's real or not?
Sure. Yes. I don't know that I've seen. I know the internet likes him. I don't know that I seen him in anything. Ooh, I don't know.
You weren't on the Teen Wolf kick, and I don't believe, did you do Maze Runner?
No.
Yeah. So.
No. So but I mean, Teen Wolf also gave us Tyler Hoechlin, Superman on Superman and Lois, and that turned out fine. I don't know that that's evidence of anything, but.
Yeah, it also gave us Tyler Posey, who you still might not know either. But
I did recognize the name. I do recognize the name.
Some big people came out of Teen Wolf for sure, but the Maze Runner would be Dylan O'Brien's big franchise.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I also think we postponed Flash a year, and depending on the issue at play, whether it is, the question in my mind is whether this is a substance abuse issue, or this is just the person Ezra Miller wants to be. If it is, we need to get them help. A year is time to, I think, course correct, and maybe, you know, because the impression I get is that this is a person that needs help, like serious, legitimate needs help. And I would like to see that.
Though, DJ, like, because what if you try for a year and you're not getting them help?
Yeah.
And then you didn't reshoot any of the movie. Then what do? You postpone again?
Good point. Solid point. Very solid point.
You reshoot with Dylan O'Brien as a backup, and like if Ezra gets the help that they need, then you don't. Then you just pay out Dylan. You go with the original movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
good. Yes. Solid. Those are very solid points.
They're in a tough spot. They are. And this Amber Heard situation with Johnny Depp, they're going to be in a tough spot as well. I think that at this point, they absolutely have to fire her. I don't think they have a choice based on what they've done, because she has admitted to being abusive of him. And that's not what she's on trial for, but she said, like, they fired Johnny for being abusive, and she's not just accused of being abusive. She is admitting to being abusive, physically. And so I think between that and this Ezra Miller situation, they for sure have their fucking hands full right now.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the lesson here is, women, if you have an abusive partner, just don't fight back, because then you too will be the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. It's interesting that you phrase it like that. I know, obviously, I'm making a joke, but I don't know what the lesson is here. You know, like, I am really like looking. I always try to look at life for the lessons, and like I think the lessons are like if you're looking at the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation, when there are warning signs in a relationship of toxicity, it doesn't get better; it gets worse. Like toxic relationships get worse and worse, and like not everybody's in a safe situation that they can get out of so easily. But if you are in a situation that you can get out of, you have to, because otherwise this is where you end up. Because it's fucking crazy what we're watching. It's fucking just so disturbing. And both of them, like psychologists taking the stand on both of their behalfs and being like, this, you know, and it's like, it's going to be really interesting and wild to see if there's any trials for Ezra, because now there've been 2 arrests, and we don't know how many more there will be, if there will be any more. But you know, this still hasn't gone away that they fucking threw a chair at somebody's head
and choked somebody. Let's not. But
that one, I either got paid off. It is crazy how Hollywood's able to keep weird ass secrets. Like, how do we not have a statement from that woman yet? With all of this going on, how do we not have one of 2 statements from her? It was, he choked me, we settled it, or it was a fucking bit, which I don't think it was. But like, how do we not, how have we managed to not have a fucking statement from that person? There's no way there's not money being exchanged there. Come on.
Let me try and leap, because I think you made a very good point with the Amber and Johnny thing, trying to pull the lesson from it. So I'm gonna yes and that, and try and end with this. With all these stories, what I think they really make me think about is that we as a country need to do a better job investing in mental health care for people, and normalizing that. And because I have to imagine that in all of these, that would have maybe not fixed it, but at least been beneficial.
For sure. There should be support groups for every type of thing that people can go to. There should be free therapy. It is supposed to be that way. Like if you have insurance, which is a whole fucking different thing, but like the fact that you can have full-blown health insurance, like they tell us to do, like they say we need to do, and you still can't get a fucking therapist, is mind-blowing.
Yes.
I mean, like, that is so fucked up. Because we passed a law that says mental health is health.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't find a doctor, people would be flipping fucking tables. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
I like the takeaway. Also, the takeaway, count your blessings, because these are real people's lives.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. So hopefully it all gets resolved. The end. I don't know. Hopefully it will. Listen, that's actually not. It will get resolved. Hopefully. Fuck. Whatever. We've said our piece. Let's transition over into Top Gun. So as we talked about at the.
Oh yay!
Yay. Oh,
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited, DJ. Okay.
Let's get Top Gun 1 out of the way, because we do have a question here from Danny. Do I need to watch the original Top Gun before this? And I would say yes and no. Mostly no. No, you don't need to. I do think it helps some of the emotional beats land in the sequel if you have that backstory. However, having just watched Top Gun 1, I do not think it is a very good movie. At best, it is a movie that has not aged great. Its perspective on things has not aged great, in my opinion.
I think for the most part it aged okay. It's definitely more of like a military propaganda movie. Yeah. But I think the answer to do I need to watch the original Top Gun before this is no. You do not need to. You will understand this movie for the most part otherwise, and I think it will still hit for you. But I definitely think rewatching the original Top Gun before this made my experience a lot better.
Yeah, I think it helped. I think it did a better job of like. And also, truthfully, so here's my thoughts on Top Gun 1. I found pretty much every character kind of repellent, just super douchey bro dudes that we give $1 million planes to just fuck around with. Cool, good job, us. $30
million plane.
God fucking damn it. So I'm jumping ahead. Tom Cruise wanted to fly the plane that he flies in Top Gun 2, and that was the one thing he wasn't allowed to do because that plane is half the budget of the movie.
He's flying in a lot of it.
He is flying, and not just him. Most of the actors, they all went through a stunt school that he designed for them, which I don't know how I feel about that, but nobody died, so it must have worked out fine. But like not just him, because we've watched the Mission Impossible movies where you're like, Tom Cruise flew in the movie. You're like, well, of course, sure he did. Of course he did. He did the helicopter stunts in the most recent Mission Impossible. These are basically escalating suicide attempts from Tom Cruise at this point. Mm-hmm. But the fact that like Miles Teller and the other one, because I don't know about you, Roxy, when I was watching it, I was like, I think that's really fucking Miles Teller fucking flying this motherfucking plane. And it's like, oh yeah, he is. I was like, okay. Anyway, super expensive planes. I didn't like any of the characters.
You're talking about the first one.
The first one. And the whole thing, and also like this super elite dogfighting school, even in the 80s, we're not fucking dogfighting anymore. That's not what and even now, that's not what. By the 80s on, the U.S. military is not in the we fight the bad guys business. We're in the imperialism business. You're not getting in dogfights with people with equal military power. You're shooting missiles at school buses and weddings. That's what the U.S. military does. So this illusion of like we're getting in these crazy dogfights, it's like, well, none of this is a fantasy. And I can't get over with these movies that reportedly Navy recruitment spiked 500% after Top Gun. And it's like, yeah, that's what these movies exist to do. And I find that incredibly problematic. Like, I can't get over it.
I get what you're saying.
Also, you talked about the conditions with which you saw Avatar. Let's just say I might have watched the first Top Gun under similar conditions. And those conditions are not conducive to being rah, go military institution. I support institutions. Like, it just didn't, I wasn't in the right headspace for it. Let's put it that way. But seeing the first one to this one, I appreciated the growth of the character of Maverick. Also, I think probably even more importantly, the growth of Tom Cruise as a performer. Not that he was not a talented actor then, he absolutely was. It's just I didn't like this character. But I think as he's gotten older, he's become a much more compelling actor.
Much more. I think that this is, yeah. I'll save it for when we're fully going into.
Before we leave Top Gun 1, any final thoughts for Top Gun 1?
I like it more than you do, but I also saw it when I was a kid, so I was rewatching it.
Yeah, I think seeing as kid is ideal, or in the 80s when it was made.
Yeah, I like the movie fine. I rewatched it and was like, it's I like that it doesn't. It's not like and twist and turn and twist. Like it's pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get. I like I'm a big romance nut, as you know. I'm a lover of love, a shipper of ships. There's enough of that in there for me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this movie's good. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
But it didn't make me think like, holy shit, I'm gonna love a Top Gun sequel.
Yeah. You're not like itching for like, yeah, give me that 30 plus year sequel.
No, I'm so happy I was wrong though.
So let's go. We'll do an ad break and then we'll come back into Top Gun Maverick. Spoiler free because the movie's not out for a bit. So Top Gun Maverick. Let's give it some stats first. But I do want to start with a question for you, Roxy, because of something you just mentioned. So Top Gun Maverick. After more than 30 years of service as one of the Navy's top aviators, Pete Mitchell is where he belongs, pushing the envelope as a courageous test pilot and dodging the advancement in rank that would ground him. And this, as of the time I made these notes, they're probably different now. It has a Rotten Tomato score of 97%. Actually, because I'm going to assume that has changed since I did this, because the reviews, as of this recording, reviews just started happening like yesterday. And of course, we've got Tom Cruise back as Maverick. And it's so funny going on the IMDb. They don't even like bother having like the person names. It's all just their call signs. It's like, yeah, that tracks. that's
funny.
The only one being Miles Teller's Rooster. So right now it's a 96%, and there is no critics consensus as of this recording. Something I wanted to, it's directed by Josh Kaczynski, what the fuck? Joseph Kaczynski, excuse me, and written by Aaron Kruger, Eric Warren Singer, and Christopher McQuarrie, who I most know from the most recent Mission Impossible movies, which are great. I like this movie. I do. You said something that I want to start off on, something that's kind of one of a couple of things that did bother me about it. You talked about being a lover of love and a shipper of ships. How did you feel about the fact that not only is the actress who was the love interest in Top Gun 1 is not in it, apparently was not invited back, is not even mentioned. She doesn't even exist within the framework of this movie.
Honestly, didn't care because I don't know if you caught it, but the tie into our new love interest, romantic, is I liked a lot.
Oh, well, and that's so funny because they're like, why didn't they ask the director, why didn't you invite this actress back? Like, oh, we didn't want everything to be a callback. And it's like, but Jennifer Connelly's, so that's a lie. You're lying. You just didn't, the actress just looks her age and doesn't look like Jennifer.
Oh, is that true?
She said herself, they asked her, she's like, yeah, my hair's gray, I've gained some weight. Of course they wouldn't invite me back, which is fucking tragic. But I mean, we brought Val Kilmer back anyway.
Yeah, for a moment.
But it's like, you can also, Meg Ryan was Goose's wife, and it's Meg Ryan. You're telling me you didn't even ask Meg Ryan?
I don't think she'll work. I mean, when you saw Meg Ryan anything?
You should at least ask. They didn't even ask her. You should at least. It's Meg Ryan.
Yeah, I think she's made like statements about being completely out. But I hear you.
Yeah, and so it's my two hangups on this movie are that, again, I am uncomfortable with the rosy depiction of our military. And I think some of the lingering issues on how the first movie viewed women are kind of in the DNA of this movie. It is better overall in that sense. It is better overall in general, but also in that sense. And also because I also think it is slightly less problematic in the jingoistic military shit than the first one was. But what our military does is problematic, and painting it in this like we're basically superheroes stopping the bad guys. Get out of here with that shit. It's like if you're making a cop movie that does not interrogate the notion of what these people do. It's 2022. I have trouble accepting that. We have to like start pushing back on the institution some, except if watching the credits. Most movies have like the wall of like CG effects people. This movie doesn't have that, which is part of why it's so good. Not that effects people are bad, but just a lot of practical effects.
I know what you mean. No,
but it's replaced with like Navy. We'd like to thank the crew of this Navy ship and this Navy person and the Navy and the Navy and the Navy. Go join the Navy. This movie's brought to you by the Navy. Just know, kids watching it, this is a fantasy. This is not how anything works. This is not what your experience will be in the Navy.
Well, I did think there was one part that was kind of how it works.
Is it spoiler free?
I would say there's one character who cares less about the lives of the people than another character.
Fair.
And I thought that was an interesting thing for them to include, that like some people care about the mission and only the mission.
Yeah.
And that I found to be very realistic.
Yeah, but the counterpoint, my counterpoint would be is that, and the other people care about the lives of their people, but not necessarily other people. Like we can shoot missiles at other people. Those people aren't people. Anyway, two positives off of a thing. I am never going to complain about a movie with Jennifer Connelly in it. She is great. She is great in this movie. She is incredible.
She's phenomenal. And at least they didn't. I hear what you're saying, and I just looked up Kelly McGillis, and to me, she looks fucking like she's stunning on this carpet for the anniversary. I mean, like, I don't even know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but like,
oh yeah. Yeah,
like,
at least
look, she's right in my ring light.
Yeah,
perfect.
At least mention her is all I'm saying. At least like she was that romance is such a core of the first Top Gun. To not even mention it feels weird.
But I was happy that at least they went with somebody like age appropriate.
Yes, that is true.
I don't mean age appropriate as if it's inappropriate, as I talk about all the time. You know, there's a big age. I have a lot of members of my family that are in big age gaps.
Yeah.
Legal, of course, but large age gaps. And love is love, and things happen, and they're different souls and whatever. But it's like I would say 9 out of 10 movies that the woman in a romantic love interest on screen is like 10 years or more younger, like legitimately almost 90% of the time.
Yeah, it's more of a criticism of the way Hollywood does the habit Hollywood has of that.
Yeah, so I was happy to at least see Jennifer Connelly,
yeah,
as opposed to like Margot Robbie, who I think is great, but like it was nice to see Jennifer Connelly. She's also probably like the most beautiful person on the planet.
Agreed.
I was like, holy shit.
Agreed.
Holy shit. Whatever she's doing, I need that routine. But I thought she did a great job, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and I liked that in the pilots we get. I think we kind of siphon most of our douchiness into one character, played by Glenn Powell, who does great in it. But I think the personality. I think the personalities are engaging. I'm not always the biggest fan of Miles Teller. I think he's utilized really well here. We do have one lady pilot who's played by Monica Barbaro, who I think is great. And I liked it. So in the first one,
conceptually, you as excited as I was to see Jay Ellis?
I didn't. I'm. This is such a different context of seeing him. It took me
It took you a second to be like, "Who the fuck is that?"
I recognized him. I'm like, "Where do I recognize this guy?" And it's like, well, Insecure. Good for him.
Yeah. I was stoked about that.
Yeah, and of course he's great. He's great.
Yeah, totally. I was like, yes, Jay Ellis, let's fucking go, bro.
So I know, like we came out of it, and you said like this is maybe one of the best movies you've ever seen. Talk more about what you liked about the movie.
Wow. I genuinely just like
spoiler
loved
free.
Every inch. I genuinely loved every inch of this movie. I mean, listen, I think you and I are very politically aligned in life, typically. So like, I'm not sitting here. I'm not sitting here talking about Scientology, and I'm not sitting here talking about like our military as reasons why this movie is the greatest. Yeah. I, for some reason, sometimes am able to disconnect certain things, and those were things that I was like, nope, I'm just not bringing those into the movie with me today.
Well, and the disconnect is easier, I think, in this one than the first one.
for the military aspect.
The military aspect, I guess.
The Scientology
I guess because it's just a better movie. It's just a better. I think this is just a better movie.
Yeah, this movie was so excellent that it made me not have any issues. Like I literally was just so dialed in the whole time. I remember being about like 10 minutes in thinking like, wow, this movie's fucking great. And then being 30 minutes in being like, holy shit, this movie's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And then being an hour and being like, I fucking love this movie. And by the end of it, I was like, take my, I'm coming back. Take all the money. Like I fucking love this movie. I love the characters. I thought it was really, really cool how much I was invested in each one of them. I thought Miles Teller did an amazing job, and his relationship with Tom Cruise in the movie was like their dynamic was so moving to me. Yeah, I was like legitimately emotional about a lot of their scenes together. I love Glenn Powell. I think that Hangman was like just a phenomenal choice for them for this movie. And I think they made a lot of really smart choices. I loved a lot of the callbacks. I love Val Kilmer. I thought
he's great in it. That wasn't a diss on him. It's just one of those, if we're comfortable bringing him back, why not the female lead from the first movie?
No, I totally hear you. I just love the way they were able to utilize him. And like, I just think that this movie had a lot of heart and soul. It had some of the most incredible, like, I'll take these visuals over Avatar visuals any day. Like watching this, I was like, oh, this looks like $1 billion movie. Well, like, it also looks like it cost them $1 billion to fucking make this.
Not only is this so much of it practical, but it's practical to the point where I couldn't tell you what was an effect. Some of it would have had to have been, but the fact that I can't point it out is impressive.
Yeah, and like the way that it was like, it still was a simple enough storyline. Like, here's what we're trying to do. Yeah. But then there were so many cool maneuvers within that, and just fuck yeah moments, and all the things that I thought they might do that I was going to be super bummed with, they didn't do. And then like just everything about it, I just thought like, wow, this movie is fucking incredible. I don't just think it's a good movie. I genuinely, and I'm not lying here, I genuinely think this should be nominated for Best Picture. Like, I think it is. And I can't believe that I would say that about a Top
Gun movie out of all things.
That's how I felt. Like, I was like, wow, what makes a Best Picture? To me, it's rewatchability, which this has more than any movie that I've seen so far this year. It's storyline, it's heart. It actually affects you. And this really did that for me.
Yeah, I think you're 100% on point. I think it has a solid understanding of what it's trying to do. I think on the one hand, I like in the first movie that the stakes are conceptually, I like that the stakes are low because we don't really do that anymore. But it did make it like I didn't really care about what happened with any of these people. This one, I like that the stakes are higher, so it's more. There is an objective, and also in the previous movie, the big finale kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like, I guess we're doing this now. This one, it's like, no, we're building to a thing. It's almost the structure of a heist movie where it's like, this is the thing. This is the plan. This is us preparing for the thing. And of course, I love heist movies, so I'm all for it.
And it is cool how they like their technology and how they do maneuver, how they're gonna figure it out. That is cool. And like you're talking about in the first one, can I give a spoiler for the first movie?
Yeah, it's as old as I am, so yes.
Okay. The spoilers for the first movie, like, and I'll keep it light, but you're right, the stakes aren't as high, and so like when we lose one of our lead roles in the first movie, you're like, for what?
Yeah, what just happened?
Like, we're not even what? Yeah. Like, what? Why? Oh my god! And that almost like made it less of a, and I guess not to other people, but like less of a propaganda movie in the sense that I was just like, wow, we're losing lives for nothing.
I think that is an incredibly good point. That on that level, it does challenge it more than this movie does, and I can't elaborate. But like on that level, the first movie does kind of push back. Like, yeah, you're going to die for literally no reason.
No reason, and then like, Meg Ryan's character in it is like, okay, and she's like, he loved flying with you, and it's just like, and then died for nothing.
Yeah, we could have just flown for fun. We didn't have to do it under this context. We could have just flown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually do think that is something in that movie's favor, and I think this movie does a really good job dealing with that in a way that I just think works. I think works. I think that's the thing. I think what this movie represents to me, I really don't like. That said, as far as especially blockbusters, the way to do a blockbuster, the way it is put together, the way it is accomplished, the way it is executed, it's basically perfect. So it's hard for it is a really good movie. Like, it's a good movie. I enjoyed watching it. I probably will watch it again. I think the performances are good.
We gotta watch it again. We gotta go 10 more times.
We got a Need for Speed. And again, it's just cool to I think Tom Cruise is great in the Mission Impossible movies, but I think this movie kind of asks him to do things that he's not able to do there. Because this is, for the most part, way, you mean. This is mostly him playing a person. Like, Ethan Hunt at this point is a superhero. Like, this is as close as Tom Cruise gets at this point to being a dude.
I think that this is, and obviously I need to wait like a year or so to like solidify this, but I think this is Tom Cruise's best movie.
I think there's a very good argument for that. I too would have to think about it, because some of those Mission Impossible movies are real good, and he's good in he's really good in Magnolia.
Yep.
And I want to watch Collateral again.
I love Jerry Maguire. You know, like there's a lot of Tom Cruise. I'm not saying that like I don't. You know,
You're not saying it lightly.
Yeah, not saying it lightly. I love Edge of Tomorrow. That might be like
he's really good in that.
Really up there for me. I love that movie. Speaking of movies that have a female counterpart that's
way younger.
Yep, but okay. I love that movie. I love a lot of Tom Cruise movies, but to me, this one just had like a certain extra a certain thing to it. I don't know.
So I think
Minority Report. I fucking love Minority Report.
Minority Report's good. So I think for me, my final thing is go listen. If you like action movies, you like blockbusters, go support this movie. A lot of practical action, a lot of way that I'd like to see blockbusters continue to move forward. Just do me a favor and don't join the Navy after. Just go see the movie. Just don't join the Navy after.
Don't join the Navy because of a movie. Join the Navy if you're going to join the Navy. You know, like if that's your life goal or mission, whatever. Do what you want, but. I don't think you should ever make like big life choices because of a movie.
I think that's good, solid advice. Roxy, final thoughts on Top Gun Maverick.
You said go see this if you love action, if you know all that. To me, I think that this is like really for everybody. I want to take Popo and Grammy to go see this, and I think my little sister would love this. So that's usually my run the gambit. So I think that like give this movie a shot because I am hoping that this movie makes $600 million so that they make another one.
I'm okay if I feel like this one wrapped everything up well. I think
it's good too, but
this movie did give me the quality is night and day, but it did give me Bad Boys for Life vibes where it's like, here's the new class that we're going to pretend we're going to pass the franchise off to, but we're not gonna.
No, I'd be down with it. I liked them so much. Oh, Glenn Powell. He's so good.
He's such a dick in the movie, though. He's good. He's talented, but he is such an asshole in the movie.
I kind of thought he was the most realistic character.
I mean, maybe. But that's also the thing where watching the first one, everybody's like, yeah, Iceman's an asshole. I'm like, no, Iceman's the only thing Iceman's an asshole about is like, he's like, Maverick, you're dangerous. And he's right.
Yeah.
Iceman's just right. Iceman is just correct.
Yeah, I do think they do a good job though of like doing their research. I have a cousin who's a SEAL, and like growing up, some of his SEAL friends would be around, and obviously that's a whole different fucking thing. But like personality types, I kind of thought that they were spot on this one.
Yeah, I think personality types. I think some of the technical, like obviously the way they speak in the plane, it's just little things. And this is from the first movie too, where like the guy in the back is like, the plane went this way. It's like you were traveling faster than the speed of sound, and the other plane is traveling faster than the speed of sound. You're not eyeballing it. You're looking at that little thing in front of you. That's what's doing the thing.
I like that.
Yeah, like I get it visually how you would need, because that makes it more, especially all the cockpit shit. Although it's just different times. The what they're able to do in this movie is just different than what they were able to do in the first one.
Yeah, and like how they're tracking movement and stuff. Like
Yeah, like all the cockpit stuff looks great, and the way it works with the actual plane, like it's just and truthfully, even though I don't like the first Top Gun, it's good in the first Top Gun. Like it's not that like Top Gun 1's badly made. I just don't like the characters or the story it's trying to tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, yay on Top Gun. We both liked it.
Oh, sorry. One more thing as you said it.
Yes.
When you said gay on Top Gun, it sounded like you said gay on Top Gun. And actually the number one question I keep getting is like, is there any like homoerotic behavior in this? Because there was some in the first one and people really like some man-on-man action, and I'm with you guys. I will say that there's no spoilers, but there's one scene in this new Top Gun that I legitimately felt so steamy about. I wonder if you know what I'm talking about.
I think I do. I think it has an analog to a scene from the original Top Gun.
Yes. Yep,
okay.
Yep. That I was like, oh my God, I might have to excuse myself.
I will say, yes, I totally get it.
Shit.
I totally get it.
That scene was spicy.
I will say that I think the homoerotic overtones are much dialed back in this one, to the point, like, it shocked me. Like, I knew that was part of the first one, but there's literally like lines where people are like one line away from talking about sucking each other's dicks. Like, I'm hard, don't tempt me. Like, oh fuck. It's not subtext. Anyway.
No, but at least there it carries over for that one scene that I was like,
yeah, there is eye candy.
whoo,
And
whoo.
credit where credit is due. Tom Cruise is doing his part.
Yeah.
Credit where it's due. Credit where it's due. The man is still in shape. So before we go, Roxy, tell them about World Girls, your podcast, Bitch Out of Water, all that.
No, I'm just thinking about that scene still. So
You're going to do an episode on World Girls.
Oh yeah, we actually are on Sunday. We're covering Top Gun and our favorite action movies.
Cool.
So we'll do a non-spoiler review, and then we'll do some of our favorite action movies, which is actually a harder conversation than you think, because like everything's kind of an action movie,
especially now.
Not everything, but like all superhero movies, like where
action element.
Kind of what is the umbrella. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. So that's the World Girls. We started a new podcast that DJ loves to talk about. What's it called, DJ?
Bitch Out of Water.
Yeah. We make them say it. Bitch Out of Water. And this week we dropped an episode what it's like to be a woman on the internet, and we talked to some women on the internet and got their take on it. We got a few fun terms from it. Steph has created dictators and dick terrorists, people who are sending you the dick pics unannounced. It's a fun one, so check it out.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I could not imagine a scenario where I would feel comfortable. Just the brazen confidence of sending a woman unsolicited a picture of your penis. I was like, but what if they don't like it? Like, that would be that. I think that would be crushing. You know what I mean? To me, it's a very intimate. You know, you don't. I'm not going to just send that to you. I don't know how you're going to feel about it. You know what I mean?
And the truth is, DJ, if you do send it without that being like where you guys are at, and they won't like it.
Yeah. I just feel
nobody's ever seen a penis they didn't ask to see and liked it.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I've never, ever heard of that. Not one of my friends ever has received a dick pic that she did not ask for and been like, I liked that.
I'm just trying to think about like what goes on. I don't understand, because like you just said, like, I've never heard a woman be like stoked about it. So like in your brain,
yeah, like I didn't want that, but then I saw it
and I was like, oh yeah, because that doesn't seem to be. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be the appropriate way. It doesn't seem to work. I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
But I think it's the same as catcalling.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm walking down the street and somebody starts shouting at me outside their window, never has any girl ever been like, now I want to fuck you.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like the same kind of mentality, I think, but digitally.
Weird.
So anyway,
Bitch
Out of Water every Wednesday that drops. And please go, as DJ knows, the reviews fucking really matter. It really matters. Right now, we got 80 reviews on there. We're feeling really proud about every single one of those. If we can bump that up to 100 reviews, we can really
Do
be
it.
cooking with gas. So do that. And if you ever forget where anything is, you can follow me at Roxy Stryer. And don't worry, I tweet plenty of times to remind you.
And you can find me at DJ Talks Trash. And you can find the show everywhere that matters at Only Stupid Answers. But on Twitter,
You ain't got the vowels from stupid.
and I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.